Hello everyone, my name is Shraddha Teacher and let me welcome you through a lesson here through the virtual class format. Now today's lesson will be a lesson in Standard 10th English and we will be doing English as well as social studies lessons here through the virtual class and through these recorded videos. And we all know the reason why we are doing this. You're not being able to go to school physically, but we will see to it that you do not stop learning. So be prepared to receive such beautiful and interesting videos on a daily or weekly basis. Having said that, we are meeting here for the first time to discuss a lesson in Standard 10th English. So, we will first talk a little bit about our textbook and then we will move on and see the lesson that we have to study today. So this is your history textbook, children, for this year. And if you look at the name of the lesson is the Kumar Bharati English textbook for Standard 10th. Now, when you were in the lower classes, that is up to Standard 8th, you were children. And now you are teenagers, you have grown up. So, from the Bal Bharati, now you have graduated to Kumar Bharati. Even in the 9th standard, you had these Kumar Bharati textbooks, isn't it? Now, one look at the back cover page of your textbook. Now, this back cover page has got certain images which is very relevant to what we are doing now. You can see a girl sitting there. She is trying to learn something on the computer. So, when you get this lesson in your hand, you will also be making use of a computer or your Android cell phone in order to learn and understand this lesson, isn't it? Now, along with the computer, they have shown many other things also, like for example, they have a recorder, they have a radio. At the same time, there is a boy who's reading from a textbook like we normally do. That means that they are encouraging us to make use of technology. But they are simply not advising us, they're giving us help also in order to make use of this technology. How are they helping us? Let's look at this. So have you seen this particular image in many parts of your textbook? So this is the QR code. This is the quick response code. Now whenever you have a QR code, it means that there is many pieces of information which is being stored in this QR code. So how will you access that information? You need to have a QR code scanner. Now most of you have Android phones. So in case you have an Android phone, you can make use of the Android phone to download the QR code scanner from the Play Store, and then you can say scan this thing. Alright, so you will get a lot of information, additional videos, additional information about that particular lesson. So this was about our English textbook. Now children, today we will start with lesson number 2 because according to the timetable we are going to do lesson number 2. But it will be the first lesson as far as our virtual class format is concerned. Now lesson number 1 in your textbook is a poem by Rabindranath Tagore, which we are going to skip. We will go directly to lesson number 2, and the name of the lesson is The Thief's Story. It is a story of a boy called Hari Singh who is a thief and who wants to do something which is not very honest, okay, but there is a change of mind, and how his mind changes and why his mind changes and how he turns over and becomes a new leaf. So that is what we have to see in the story. Now this story, The Thief's Story, is written by Ruskin Bond. So you can see an image of Ruskin Bond also on the screen for you. Now children, whenever we do English lessons, many a times we have these long big stories. Now if it was an ordinary class, what I would have done is I would have read the story, narrated it and explained it to you. But in this 15 minutes slot that we have got, that is not going to be possible. So what I will do is, whenever there is a possibility, I will show you a summary of the story. And then we will go on and we will see the various parts of vocabulary and grammar which are there in your textbook. So today's lesson will start by seeing a story, that is The Thief's Story. So sit back, enjoy it, and also try to learn some things from this story.
Let's see what happens in The Thief's Story by Ruskin Bond. Hari Singh was a thief. He was merely 15 years old but was quite good for his age. In fact, Hari Singh wasn't even his real name. He used a different name every month to avoid getting caught. The first time Hari met Anil was at a wrestling match. Anil looked like the perfect mark, simple, kind, and easygoing. Hari approached Anil and complimented him on his looks. He told Anil he wanted to work for him. Anil replied that he couldn't pay him. So, Hari said that he would work for food and even lied that he could cook. So, Anil agreed and took him in. That night, Hari made dinner. It was so bad that Anil gave it to some stray dogs and told Hari to leave. However, Hari just stood and kept smiling at Anil. Anil relented. He let Hari stay and taught him how to cook. He also taught Hari how to write his name and promised that one day Hari would learn how to write whole sentences and add numbers. Hari was glad. With some education, he could be better at what he did. Hari found it easy to work for Anil. Every day, he would make tea in the morning. Then he would go to the market to buy supplies. He always made a rupee's profit every time. Hari also learned quite a bit about Anil. Anil was a writer and did not make steady income. When he did, he would go out and celebrate. When he didn't, he would borrow and worry about his next paycheck. One day, Anil came home flush with several banknotes. He had just sold a book to a publisher. He safely hid the money under his mattress. It had been some time since Hari stole from someone. He made up his mind to steal the money. That night, he crept up to Anil's bed and carefully extracted the money. Then he ran. He ran until he came to a bazaar by the station. There he slowed down and counted the money. There were 600 rupees in the bundle. Hari thought he would live like a king for the next week or two. Thinking this, he came to the station. The Lucknow Express was just leaving the platform. If he ran, he could easily jump into one of the compartments. But something stopped him. Hari stood still and watched as the train left. He was alone now and had nowhere to go. He thought about Anil and how his house was the one place he could go back to. So, having nowhere to go, Hari started walking aimlessly and came to a maidan. There he sat on a bench, thinking about Anil's reaction. Anil, he knew, would feel sad, not at the loss of money, but at the loss of trust. It started to rain. Soaked, Hari made his way back to the bazaar. He took out the notes. Then he thought about his time at Anil's. He remembered that Anil had promised to teach him to write whole sentences. One day he thought knowing whole sentences would bring him even more than thieving could. After all, stealing was easy, but becoming a clever and well-respected man, that was better. So Hari went back to Anil and put the money back under the mattress. Next day when he woke up, Anil was already making tea. Anil gave him a 50-rupee note as part of his wages. Then he declared that they were going to learn whole sentences. Hari realized that Anil knew what had happened, but Anil didn't say anything. Moved, Hari gave Anil a smile, a genuine heartfelt smile.
So wasn't that a wonderful story, children? And we have a lot of things that we can learn also from the story, isn't it? For example, if you're dishonest and if you try to make an easy living, then that will not last long. Alright, so now like I told you, we will go to some vocabulary part exercises in your textbook. So let's talk about the first exercise in vocabulary, and that is collocation. So what are collocations, children? Collocations are two words that usually go together. Okay, like when we say salt and pepper, we use the words salt and pepper usually together. Okay, you say chalk and cheese, salt and pepper. So these are the kind of words that people say together. These kind of words are called collocations. Let us look at the meaning once. So two or more words which usually go together are called as collocations. Alright, now let's look at some examples of collocations here. Crystal clear. So see, what is the meaning of crystal clear? You cannot say, when you say clear, it means clear. But then to make the point more emphatic, we say crystal clear. Alright. So this is an example of a collocation. Then you have neat and tidy. Okay. So we don't usually say the room is neat. We don't say the room is tidy. We usually say the room is neat and tidy. Now in this case, it is the cupboard which is neat and tidy. So these are a few examples of collocations. Let us look at some more examples. So make breakfast is an example of a collocation. Have fun, give a hug, catch a bus, save energy, take a look, do your best, good enough. So these are some words which we usually say together. Now there is an exercise in your textbook in which they have asked you to fill in the blanks and try to figure out what word will go. So I've tried to solve a few examples for you. The remaining will be your assignment. You can do it at home. So let's look at the first one. You have dash dog. So I've put in the word pet over there. You can use your own word. Okay. But I have used the word pet to go along with dog in order to make it a collocation. Then you have postman. Okay. Then ticket counter. You can also say ticket checker. Whatever. My choice of word here is counter. And then you have high spirits. So these are some examples of collocation from your textbook, children. Now the time is almost up and we do not have much more time to do another point, but I will just introduce what we will do next time. Next time we will be talking about compound words. Now just like collocations are two words which go together, compound word is also made up of two words, but there is a major point of difference as far as collocations and compound words are concerned. So when we do the next lesson, we will be talking about this point, compound words. So that was all for today, children. Thank you so much for being part of this lesson. Let's meet again next time.